Welcome everyone to the XMTP developer community call. Thank you everyone for being here. We have a really exciting lineup today. I'm Jeha. I work in protocol governance and I'll be your MC for today. This webinar is being recorded for the convenience of those who can't attend live. So that'll be a great way to share all of your demos and deep dives and all of the questions that come up today with the wider community. So thank you for being recorded. The recording of this meeting will be shared in our YouTube channel. As we progress, I'll go ahead and share a link to that channel so you can take a look there as well. We also have a lot of all of the dev calls are shared there, and we have some great whiteboarding sessions with Naomi, our VP of Engineering. She goes deep on several important XMTP concepts, so really great resource there. I'll go ahead and share the link. I'll also share a link to our XMTP Code of Conduct, which we observe during this call on all public gatherings of the XMTP community, and we invoke this code to create a space where everyone feels welcome and welcome to share ideas and ask questions. So fantastic. Also want to take a moment to acknowledge our webinar format. We use it for the safety and security of our community. And so we see all attendees here and would love for you to raise your hand if you have any questions. Please also use the Q&A tool to ask questions and give us feedback at any time. And I'd also like to say that every few meetings, we like to take a moment to acknowledge our mission as a community. We invite everyone who values open protocols, permissionlessness, and private and secure communication that you own and control to join us in this mission. And so now for our main event, a deep dive into the winning projects from the XMTP base messaging build-a-thon. And I'll hand it over to Eric.
Awesome. Thank you, Jaya. I'm really excited about this call. We had over 200 teams building for this hackathon and over 80 projects submitted. I think not making it not only one of the most popular, but also one of the highest quality tracks out of all of the base batches messaging, or out of all of the base batches. Some of the creativity, technical design were off the charts, and these winning projects really show what's possible when you combine secure messaging, AI, mini apps all together in one. So today we're going to do a deep dive into each of these projects. We can see exactly how they're built and hopefully get inspired for each of you to build your own. So can't wait to hear directly from the builders. They're going to walk us through how their approach to the hackathon, as well as building with XMTP and what they learned along the way, and hopefully maybe some alpha drops along the way as well. So first, we're going to start with ONIT. So I'm going to introduce James and have him take it away. So on to you, James.
Yep, sure. Thanks, Eric. I will share my screen as well. Oh, can I? Do I have to ask to share my screen? No, it's good. Okay. Yeah, so if you haven't seen sort of the demo yet that we put through for the build-a-thon, I can just quickly introduce sort of ONIT and what we're building. So ONIT is a prediction market protocol for highly expressive prediction markets. So instead of just like on Polymarket, everything being narrowed down into a yes/no market, we can actually ask much more expressive questions where you can pick maybe like an exact number or a like multiple choice option or anything like this. So some examples of markets that we've got sort of like one for what the base wallet is going to be called. So get in there if you have any predictions for the 16th of July. Some of the interesting ones, let's see. So we've got like this style of input, so you can really be quite exact with what you're going to bet on. You can sort of set your confidence and things like this instead of being forced into just yes/no options. So We have sort of got these style of markets. We also do themes. So for like the Formula One, every weekend we have this set of questions, and people sort of can come in here and bet on all five for sort of a bonus, and you can like check out sort of who's won, who's lost, and things like this. And because we're building on as a protocol, we've got the API and SDK, so anyone can sort of plug in and use these to get building. And so we used that sort of API to build an XMTP agent that is now in Coinbase Wallet in the chat, that lets you sort of access any market on the ONIT protocol directly from the messenger. So you can do things like list markets, just to sort of see what's trending. You can click in here and actually sort of see these markets, bet on these markets. Sorry if you can hear dogs. I'm in a co-work and there are quite a few dogs outside. And then one of the features that we also added here is copy. So you can see a sort of prediction market that you think your group might like. If you're really into hockey, you can then copy that and have this as a private market where you can win money sort of directly from your friends, which is sort of more fun. And the next step here is that you can actually deploy custom markets from here, and that's sort of what we're working on next. But before any of that, we can just look at the sort of agent that we built for the build-a-thon. Sort of like standard setup, we just sort of initialize the XMTP client, start listening for messages, and then we have this handle message function. So we just check whether we're gonna like handle the message or not. And then we go in to process the message. So if it includes some like predefined triggers, like sort of on it or on a test or what, we can call the bot. And then if it includes a command, like a very exact command from in here, then we just go ahead and execute that directly on the API. So far you can list, you can get bets, you can copy markets, and then pretty soon you'll be able to like deploy custom markets as well. So if it hits one of those, then we go through and do the command exactly. And then if it doesn't, so if it's just sort of at on it and then it's not like a direct match to one of our commands, then we can come through here and actually just call the bot. So this is the bit that we're sort of adding on now, and we're going to have ready in the next few days. So this is just the ONIT XMTP agent is then going to be more conversational than just the commands, and it's actually going to sort of chat with you. Like you can ask it questions about different types of market, different things that people are betting on that are trending, and then you can even deploy the markets from this as well. So this is what we're going to use for the actual like deployment. So that is most of it, I think, really. Yeah, so you can like list, you can access anything on the protocol, you can get these into your group chats, and then you can start sort of betting with your friends.
Awesome. Thanks, James.
Yep, sure.
You mentioned some of the future improvements there. I guess anything else that's top of mind for you guys and kind of enhancing the agent experience?
Definitely deploy markets. We think that's the biggest unlock. Sort of like, I want to bet against this person on this result by sort of next week. Having that sort of conversation is pretty cool. Beyond that, maybe placing bets. Like if you can just sort of say like, I want to place a bet on this, like quickly in the chat instead of having to like open up the mini app, it could be cool as well. But the priority is definitely getting people to deploy markets.
Nice. Yeah. Can't wait to try that one out.
Yeah.
I know Derek's waiting too.
Yeah, we'll get you on ASAP.
It's great.
Awesome.
Great stuff.
Awesome. All right, next, take it over to tantodefi with Dstealth.
Hey guys, so I just ran a deployment there during James's thing, and moment of truth, I broke prod with the V2 push, so my bad. But let me kind of show you what it's gonna do later today when I get it working again. How can I share my screen? I don't see where the screen share option is. Sorry, guys.
It should be right in the bar in the bottom. So I think you're a panelist.
Maybe I don't have the permission to Zoom to do that, and so I don't see it. Could that be it? I can try to figure this out if Limone wants to jump in. I don't want to take up too much time.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let me figure this out. Sorry, guys. Might be my permissions.
Yeah.
Should I?
Yeah, Lamont, you and Frank want to go?
Yes. All right. So let me try to share my screen. I'll start with a demo, and then with Frank as well, we'll walk you through some of the. Why it's not showing this? We'll walk you through use some of like the technical details. Okay, apparently I cannot mirror my screen. Frank, can you mirror your screen? I don't know why I cannot find my laptop when mirroring. I can share, I can just show a video then. So about Squabble, we built like a real-time Scrabble game inside Coinbase Wallet mini app, specifically like tailor-made for XMTP group chat. So we've been building a bunch of mini apps and games in the past, and they've always been like public in the feed. And what we wanted to experiment with within the hackathon, the best batches messaging track, is around having a game that is built built and played inside a private context. And so you have an agent, squabble.base.eth, that you can reach out within the group chat to ask and create a game. You can bet $1, $2, how much you want, but you can also play for free. So like no bets, let's say. So once you join the game, your friends join the game as well, you can stake one USDC in this case. And as soon as everybody is ready in this demo, it's just me and Frank, you will be able to start the game. So yeah, starting the game, it's loading. And what will happen is that you will have this shared board within your group chat and within your friends, where you're all competing in real time to place as many words as possible. So you want to use the best letters to maximize your score. And then, of course, at the end of the match, whoever gets most points will win the whole pool. This is all happening in real time, and it's been part of like probably like the most challenging part of building Squabble has been, working with these web sockets and the mini app, and then of course like integrating it with the agent, as we will show you later. Each game lasts for 2 minutes. For demo's sake, like this would be only 1 minute, so it's about to end. If I remember correctly, Frank is beating me on this one, and so he's winning the 2 USDC pot. When it comes to staking, by the way, you can use any token from any chain, as we're using DymoPay. So like the checkout flow is super smooth. If you don't have USDC on Base, you can use whatever you want. Oh, let me stop real quick. Yeah, on this one, as you can see, like the agent, even while we're playing and whenever like somebody's joining the game, the agent is notifying the group chat that Limone is ready to play, Frank is ready to play. And at the end of the game, the agent is also notifying that Frank won with 25 points. There are also other commands that you can send to the agent to show the leaderboard or to check on the latest game that was played. And finally, as you can see here, Frank, right after the game, received 2 USDC. I'm sorry that I wasn't be able to show this live, but you can test it out just by inviting squabble.base.eth inside your group chat. And that's it for the what we actually built. And this comes with 3 main components, actually 4. First is like the mini app, of course, like it's the whole mini app experience with the game and the players connecting and staking. Then we have a server where we implemented the real-time WebSockets interaction. So every time somebody performs an action, places a letter, submits a word, all the people connected to that room will be updated in real time with what's happening. And so for example, if like you can see here in the screen that whenever Frank plays the letter FA and then he was trying to place another letter, like I can see that he's trying to create a word, and so I'm more compelled to I'm FOMOing because I am fearing that he will be stealing my word. And then the third part is the agent, of course. So there's an agent inside the XMTP group chat that is up to date with everything that is happening within the game. We use the agent to not only create the game and so like to interact with the mini app, but also to share updates about the game in real time whenever they happen. We built like the basic messages, but of course it's super composable, so we can potentially share any kind of event that is happening within the mini app inside the group chat. And the cool thing is that any link that we share from the Squabble game within the group chat can also be a dynamic like mini app embed with a preview image. The last part then is the smart contract, which of course is implementing the on-chain logic. So what I will show before Frank goes on is the mini app real quick. So the mini app is an Next.js web application, as all the other, like I guess like most of the mini apps. How does it work like for the agent interaction that Frank will show? We have an API that is accessible only by the agent, and this API, the agent can use them to create a new game, to get like the game information, and to get the leaderboard. So whenever the agent contacts the mini app API, it sends us the conversation ID and the bet amount so that we know how to initialize a game correctly. There's a bunch of on-chain interaction because every game is also stored on-chain with the stake pool and all the participants. And of course, we're also using a database. In this case, it's a Postgres SQL database that we use to store the game data. The leaderboard as well, as you can see, like it's simply like an API endpoint contacted by the agent that then is parsing the information, and this is just computation around who are like the top players in the group chat, so you can check among all the games and matches that you played who has like performed the best, let's say. So I think this is the most interesting part, that it's kind of unique with respect to the other mini apps that we built, because we built some features that are specifically related to the mini app. And then of course, the other thing that is interesting to see is like this socket context, like that is instantiating the WebSocket connection with the server, subscribing the mini app to a bunch of events. So we have an event map here where we fetch events whenever somebody joins, somebody leaves. There's a game update, there's a new letter place, like any kind of event that you might think. Even whenever somebody stakes, we receive that event and set that to ready. And on the other side, like this is the server, like receiving the events from the client. This is all open source right now, of course, so you can check it out on the Builders Garden GitHub repositories. And you can see how we are handling already connect to lobby, leave, player stake confirm. So a bunch of events are handled like server side. And for example, whenever, let me show you this, player stake confirmed. So whenever we are, whenever a player stake is confirmed, so the mini app notifies the server that somebody staked the USDC required. Not only we update, of course, like the database information, but we also have a function here that it's calling the agent to submit a message within the group chat. So that message, you remember, like Frank is ready to play, is coming from here. So we are calling like the agent and sending arbitrary messages, and that can happen in any kind of like event that we might want. Frank, if you are ready to share your screen, I'm not sure if it's in among the panelists.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe you can show a little bit like the agent logic as well.
Yeah. First, you should stop your.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So real quick, how the agent works. So basically, we started from the template that you have in your example, implementing the Coinbase agent kit. So it's basically that was the starting point from our agent. So we have the classic listener that handle the messages and all the conversation. What we added is basically some long chain, some tools other than the long chain CDP standard ones. And so basically these custom tools can actually interact with the mini app repository. So for example, when a prompt is recognized as a Squabble help, it will send an help message, or if it's a start game, it will contact the mini app API to create the game. We also so basically, the agent also exposes some Express API endpoint. So, for example, this one is the one that is used by the server to let the agent send some messages to the group chat. So, for example, when a user is ready to play, that because it staked something. And yeah, so it's quite basically a standard implementation with some custom tools and some API, Express API. And just to give you a complex overview, I feel like the most complex part of this process was to actually let the agent having the context of the forecaster identities, basically, because of course the XMTP group chat doesn't have the context, and we had some issues with the Coinbase wallet accessing the context and so on. So we had to implement some workaround to retrieve basically the forecaster identity starting from an XMTP identity in the group chat. That was, in my opinion, the most complex part.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. Thanks, Limone. That's great insight. So I guess for Farcaster mini app builders, what are some advice you might give them for building on Coinbase Wallet? Like, what is if they come to you and say, "Hey, how do I get started?" Other than resolving Farcaster identities, I know that's a big something we need to solve. But other than that, what's some advice you would give to them?
I think like something that might seem like trivial, and you kind of like mentioned like the connection with the forecaster identity. Of course, it's something that is not ready yet on Coinbase Wallet and XMTP group chats, but I see a lot of mini apps out there, not only on Coinbase Wallet but also on Farcaster, that don't really use like the Farcaster social graph for anything in the mini app. So I think like it's a very powerful tool that you can use for like growth reasons, especially because of course when you play with friends or people that you are already interacting with on a social network, it's much more engaging, and it's more likely that people will be using your app more times, let's say, or playing more games or betting, whatever. So it's kind of trivial because in the end they are Farcaster mini apps, but I don't see many like working out features related to the social graph that are very powerful to me. And that's something that we also want to expand in Squabble, that, you know, for the hackathon's sake, we just kept it simple, but we're already working on some new features that make it more social and shareable, not only in group chats, but also inside the Farcaster feed.
Awesome. Cool. Any ways that you could use the Farcaster social feed coming into like a group chat experience? Have you guys thought about kind of the reverse in that way?
What do you mean, like having a link that redirects to the group chat?
Yeah.
I think that's another interesting feature that I believe Coinbase Wallet has to implement. So if there are like deep links that can redirect a user within the Coinbase Wallet app to a specific group chat, that would be like super helpful and powerful. So I hope they will figure out something around that as well.
Cool. Let's add it to the list.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And congrats on winning the #1 right
Thank
there.
you so much.
Thank you very much, guys.
Awesome. All right, Tanto, did you figure out how to share over there?
Yeah, I'm worried that I thought I was gonna have to leave the meeting and rejoin to get it working, but I was actually wondering, would one of you mind going to the mini app and sharing the mini app, and I talk and explain kind of the front end and the agent while one of you share the website? It's live at dstealth.xyz. And
Yeah,
there's
I can
an
do that.
connection option if you don't want to connect to your EOA, but I promise nothing bad will happen if you do.
Yeah, give me
And
1
this way I can
second.
kind of describe what's happening. But yeah, first off, like, yeah, a lot of the same issues running into trying to get context in Coinbase Wallet. Haven't really found a workaround yet. But I can kind of just keep like explaining. Dstealth is basically an agent that's going to help users retrieve their stealth addresses that are going to be generated from their fluid keys. So if you go over to the agent tab, you should be able to see just a list of features and a session that's going to create. Now you could go ahead and message our agent, and if we're really lucky, it's going to respond. I just deployed like 2 seconds ago again. Okay, and it might not, but essentially this agent's going to onboard you to Fluid Key, and you're going to set your Fluid Key and your Convos handle, because one thing that I think is going to be kind of fragmented is users need an endpoint that's going to be encrypted and to be messaged in. And for the reasons we've just talked about, Coinbase Wallets in beta and the DM deep links don't quite exist, but I've discovered that this basically kind of already exists in Convos. So I built my kind of client to be able to connect users' Fluid keys and their Convos accounts. The reason I like Convos is that the client's mobile app is React Native and open source. And that also means the encryption libraries are there. So that's really leveraging like the MLS security of XMTP, because it's a native app similar to Coinbase Wallet. So yeah, by trying to give users a tool that they're going to be able to share their generate stealth addresses easily. It's also going to be able to, I'm trying to figure out a stealth address scanner. So this is like kind of a Swiss Army knife of tools you can use for stealth addresses across Base and some other chains. We're integrated heavily with Fluid Key because of their account abstraction features, and I think they're just a really nice product for privacy. And our agent is going to be able to generate every receipt and address that's retrieved by our agent, by the way, is done with zk-TLS and Reclaim protocol. So we save kind of a ZK proof for who you pay that is going to show up here in the ZK receipts tab. And that way you'll be able to slowly kind of, improve privacy for users, but also be able to kind of in the future world prove who you paid. I think this might come up when companies start using this type of technology for payroll. I think it has implications, but yeah, I'm trying to abstract as many of the features in this front-end mini app client into the agent. Because imagine how easy it is to just like add an agent to a group chat. And once you've set and interacted with the agent, you just request a fresh Stealth address to the chat. All of a sudden, privacy first happens in the chat, and like everybody can benefit from this. So yeah, I'm really excited to, I wish my demo was a bit better, guys. I hope this kind of makes sense. I resonate with what everyone's building here on the call. And I'm really excited to kind of get the agent wired up and working. But yeah, work in progress.
Awesome. Thanks, Tanto. Yeah, I think what you just mentioned of kind of abstraction is the name of the game here. Like anything that you can just take away from the user and just like put into a chat and like a group experience and generating that privacy first mentality is something that we really value at XMTP and strive for. So thanks for building with us, and yeah, excited to keep going as well.
Yeah, I think there's also like the payment link generation. So it'll generate a Dymo payment link if you don't want to. We also integrated with Dymo Pay. Shout out to Dymo Pay. It's like the greatest SDK for like simple checkouts on mini apps. Other things about the mini apps that just talking directly to builders now. My advice is like start simple with like the core function that would be best to abstract first. And don't be scared to wire that up with a command action and a really simple loop first, to just before you start adding and trying to get the natural language hooks processing. Because as soon as you start adding like more complicated context to the agent about who's it's talking to, can you give it the social graph? Does it have access to persistent database? Is there a set fkey.id or convos.org ID for the user in the app? Like the share page also is kind of like users can still take payments right to their tantodefi.fkey.id URL, which is provided by FluidKey. So the idea for Dstealth is like you're going to still be able to check out pay me to that, but you'll also be able to DM me on Convos if you need to. Also, if you interact with the agent, it'll like the ZK receipt for all of your requested Stealth addresses will show up when you log into the mini app. So this is kind of like turning a dashboard of like your ZK receipts, but really you can interact and add an agent in real time to get paid. You can generate a payment link for Stealth and privacy. I hope I explained this well. I really like, yeah. Anyways, guys, I love what you guys have built. XMTP tech is the best. And if you're building on it, check out the Builder's Garden templates. Check out the XMTP mini app agents repo. DM me if you want to chat about your agent and how to implement it better. And yeah, I'm excited to ship the V2 later today.
Love it. Awesome.
Nice.
Well, great. Well, shout out to all the builders. Thank you so much for joining, showcasing your projects. We're really excited to keep building with all of you. Back to you, Jeha.
Oh yeah, sure. And we do have a question in the
Nice.
Q&A area. Tony wants to connect with the Dstealth team. And welcome, Tony. Good to see you here.
Yeah, I'm tantodefi everywhere, so like hit me up and happy to chat.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much. How about if we take a few more questions? Anyone have any thoughts? Anywhere they'd like to dive a little bit deeper?
I have one question for my my fellow builders on the stage. I bought both the .eth and the base.eth names, but I don't see where to set the records for the base.eth. Do you guys just YOLO and send that name to your agent, or how did you guys set that one?
Honestly, like it was Frank doing it. But I guess like probably like he bought it directly with the agent wallet, I think, or otherwise like
Yeah.
bought it with as you mentioned, like you buy it with another wallet and then you send it to the agent wallet.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna get that done right away.
Yeah, same thing. We bought the test one and just used it.
Sweet.
Nice. So, Valentine, not to put you on the spot, but did I see you raise your hand earlier? Just allowed to talk if you'd like to share anything, but no pressure. Okay. Um, any other questions? Thoughts on the experience of building agents with XMTP? All right. Well, let's follow up on all of this with some engineering updates. And if any other questions come to mind, please feel free to jump in. I'm just going to share our screen. We have some engineering updates provided by our VP of Engineering, Naomi. I think she's double booked at this time, so I'll just go ahead and walk through them. So XMTP upgrade 3.0 is live. This upgrade includes an installation limit. So we now enforce an installation limit of 5. And to be able to support that installation limit, we have also provided support for static installation revocation. This is a call you can use when the user can't log in. So it can revoke an installation without a login. We also surface access to the static inbox state, as well as fixes for browser streaming. And coming up, we're still working on fixing agent streaming issues. I don't know if anyone on the XMTP team would like to add any color or any further details to this. Please feel free. Yeah, and of course, we are hiring. So if you're on the job hunt, I put a link to our open opportunities in the chat. Oh, go ahead and stop sharing. Any other thoughts for today? Yeah, all right. Well, thank you all again for joining. It's good to see all of your faces, familiar and new. And this will also be sure to share this YouTube recording with you all. All right, thanks so much. And
Thank you
thanks,
so
Eric,
Thanks all.
much.
for
Thanks, Jay.
moderating.
Thanks,
All
everyone.
right.